Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Marvellous Monday. Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are. If you think it's Get Rich Quick, you're in the wrong place. This is the wrong podcast. This is the wrong life for you. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Hope you're all awesome and well. Good morning, everyone. Let me get rid of that so we can... there we go. Howdy, folks. Good to see you. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. As always, good to have you here. A few early birds up and at it, which is great. Well, I suppose that's not really early birds, is it? Fritz, morning, mate. How you doing? Bradley, Helen. You know, funny thing, Helen. I live in Helens Vale on Dawson Court. That's funny. Anyway. Morning, Helen. Good to see you. Alison, good to see you. Bradley. Half the day gone. Yeah, you did right, mate. You did right. That's what I was sort of saying. It's not the early birds, is it really? It's 8 o'clock here in Queensland. It's 9 o'clock other places. And, yeah, anyway. Now I'm self-conscious about calling you early birds because it's not. Oh, it's 7:45. It's kind of early. There you go, Alison. Maybe it's early in Western Australia. Let's say that. Is it? Is it early in Western Australia? Anyway, I think I'm rabbiting on now. Morning. Good to see you all. Hope you're well. Hope you're awesome. Hope you're well. Good to have you along. As always, quick intros. Jason Witten is my name, if you don't already know. Most of you know that, though, so that's good news. But if you don't and you're new, welcome. Thanks for joining. Let us know in the chat if you're a newbie. And let us know what's going on. Where are you from? What are you up to? These mornings we get together. We do a little conversation around the world of property investing mostly, but we do talk about a few other things. But welcome along. It's great to have you here. So, interesting right now in the world of property. A little bit quiet out there, to be honest, in the world of, media, what's going on. So, I think it's the calm before the storm, to be honest. But this morning, I thought we might talk a little bit about the game we're playing. Yesterday, I had a chat with a few people about, how do you get ahead when you've got limited resources? And it's a good question, right? So, unless we're sleeping on a gold mine or we've got $1 billion under the bed, well, we've all got to navigate investing with a limited amount of resources that we have. And, we got to make the most of it. And it's a bit of a game, I think, about not only making the most of what you have, but also keeping more than the average Joe. What do I mean by that? Or what do you think I mean? What's the one thing that all of us as property investors, investors in general, even, people in this society, what do we got to manage really well? There is an inefficiency in the world of our financial system that sadly we don't get to choose, but we can manage with rules. We can manage things if we understand the game we're playing. What's that inefficiency, folks? Put it in the chat for me. What's the cost of participating in our society? And what's that thing we can manage if we're smart? Some people don't think we can manage it. So it's a fait accompli. It is what it is. But you and I know, right? You and I know we can manage. We can manage to keep more of this as we go along. And Brad's onto it. Good work, Brad. Thanks for not leaving me hanging there. Brad's all over it. Minimize our tax, folks. Tax, exactly. Fritz is on it as well. Our tax. Listen, we need to learn to keep more using the rules that are set out for us all in the world of investing. And, I want to talk about that today. How many taxes do you think we pay? How many taxes are we exposed to as investors? And how many can we manage to minimize, folks, as investors? Put it in the chat for me. What do you think? How many taxes, overall, do you think are we exposed to? Do we have to pay in our everyday existence, folks, in this economy, right? There's quite a lot, or there's a bunch of them sort of hanging around there as we go. So, at the end of the day, for you and me in the PAYG world, there is our income tax that we pay when we talk about property investing. It's a tax, a duty. It's the same damn thing. Stamp duty, all right? Stamp duty. You've got land tax, and then you have capital gains tax. That is cap gains tax. Now, if you are a property developer or someone like that, then you might have some GST and some other stuff. But for you and me, the majority of us have these taxes that we're exposed to as property investors, right? So can we reduce them? Well, the answer is yes. How do we reduce our taxes that we pay or minimize our taxes, with our income? How do we reduce it on stamp duty? How do we reduce it on land tax? How do we reduce it on capital gains tax? Excellent questions, and ones we might talk about a little bit later on. But you need to know the answers to those and understand how we go, right? Because, if you have a look at what the government collects, there are a fair few taxes floating around, folks. And check out this. Well done, everybody. Well done, the budget 2023. Congratulations, everyone. Record personal income tax. Record personal income tax paid by workers. Well done. Well done, folks. Good job. Delivering a $152 billion revenue boost over 5 years. Records, they're everywhere. How's that, folks? Good on you. Well done. Well done. $325 billion paid by individual income tax. Now, I don't begrudge that as having a system. I'm a very, I love that we have a great country, Australia. It doesn't come free. We have to support it 100%. I think the Muppets that spend our money should have their heads read, and they should all have to do some economic, they should have to do some economic studies and understand what real life is all about. But anyway, that's for another day, folks. How can we? What game are we playing when it comes to this record amount of money? Earn more, pay more. I think that's a bunch of shit, personally. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Those things aren't going to change. How can we manage? How can we navigate that stuff? Right. So check out, what do you think these numbers are? Some of you might have seen this once before. Check out these numbers at the bottom here. 2 million, 3 million. And actually, I'm going to do that in red. 2 million, 3 million, $4 million. Right. What do you think that is, folks? Because I tell you what, you're not going to enjoy the truth of the matter. You work for 40 years and you don't minimize your tax. Imagine that, over time, you get better at your job. You're winning, and there you go. Well done. Here's it. Congratulations. Here's the aspiration for you. Go from 120 grand to 180 grand, and you'll pay us more tax. You'll pay us another $2 million. Thanks, folks. Now, what's the average? Yeah, what's the damn average pension? Let's say someone retires at, let's say, 65, and let's say they live to 80, 15, right? I think that's the average age at the moment. Marcus was talking about that, performance punishment. You did right, Alison. So how much are they going to pay you? What's the pension, folks? Just, does anyone know what that is? I think it's like, $300 a week or something. What's the average Australian pension right now? Let's say you lived for 15 years afterwards and you lived on a pension. How much would they give you back? Seriously? Come on now. Hey, it's below the poverty line. You're dead right, Alison. What a joke. Anyway, you contributed 4 million. I guarantee you probably get back maybe, I don't know, 100 grand, maybe 150 grand if you're lucky on the pension. Actually, it's probably way less. So I'd be really curious to work that out, actually. That's something I'm going to go do. But, hey, folks, here's the game we're playing. We're playing the tax game. We're playing the tax game, all right? It's a game of tax, and it's a game of if we have income or gains in our world, then the government wants a piece of that action. That's what happens. And how can you and I minimize that as we go forward as investors? That's the question, right? That's the question. Because remember, not remember, but just, there's no such thing as a capital gains tax, folks. It's actually not a capital gains tax. It's a capital gains calc that turns into or contributes to your income, and then you pay income tax. It's a strange one. It's a weird one. People pop their noodle when I talk about that. But we'll just say, hey, there's capital gains tax, there's income tax, and that's how it works, right? So here's the games we play. These are the rough numbers, folks, when we're talking about those games. Game of 30, 25, 15, and 0. These are kind of like levels, layers in the game we play. This is the income game, right? Now, I always say to my clients, you guys as well, if you're out there, you've got a coach or whatever, I'm sure your coaches are talking about this too. How do we reduce your taxable income? Well, in property investing, that is easy to do, right, folks? It's very simple. It's actually fantastic. The costs, which are either dollar or paper, now that's the one. The costs, your interest and other expenses, plus depreciation. And I love this one. It's a no-brainer. Help you reduce your tax. All right. Now, you can go find calculators. You can go talk to people. There's a bunch of people who talk about negative gearing is bad. Well, you don't know what you're talking about, right? Negative gearing is absolutely amazing. Negative cash flow, buying something to lose money is stupid just to get a tax deduction. You're talking about the wrong thing. Like, stop pretending you know what you're talking about. You lot. Anyway, bit feisty today. Look, listen, and as you buy more properties, if you're paying 30% tax, let's say you're earning $180,000, you could get your tax rate down to sort of 15 and below, owning 5 to 6 investment properties. I like that. You own 5 to 6 investment properties and you can reduce your tax and you're creating wealth. Makes sense to me. Let's take, 2 million of that 4 million you're going to give to the government. Folks, listen up. Let's take 2 million of that 4 million you're going to give to the government over 40 years. Let's put that 2 million towards buying assets. You get that back in your tax. You get that back in your income, and you can put that money towards assets. And then you're not worrying about the damn poverty line or the stupid pension. You don't need it. You've got assets that are going to pay for your lifestyle. You're not a burden on society. You're not a burden on your family. Happy damn days. That's what I say. Anyway, that's the game we're playing, folks. Your job, if you want to get ahead, is to manage this exodus of up to 30%, even more sometimes, of your actual cash income that you earn, and minimize that and stop that leakage in your life and put it to work for you, right? Okay. And, what's the other calculation going on here? Well, this is capital gains tax. This is gains tax, right? If you don't understand how to structure ownership of a property or an asset and you sell it, well, you could be exposed to 100% of the gain turns into income, and you got to pay tax on 100% of it. If you know what you're doing, you can have 50% no tax and 50% you'd pay tax on. Depends on where you're buying it and what you're doing. You can have 10% tax on your capital gain or 0. I don't know about you. Which number here, folks? Which number do you like? All right. Which number do you like? I like 0, right? And if you know what you're doing, you guys have heard me talk about this many times. You can, with planning and process and strategy and patience, you can create a tax-free income, potentially up to 120 grand per individual. So how do you do that? Well, you got to get some coaching. You guys know the drill. And that sort of space right there. But anyway, that's the game we're playing, folks. But understand this, right? And there's a really interesting thing. And I'll leave you here. We call it the game of 30, a game of 30, right? There's 3 spaces and places. You know, how do we manage the tax in the world of individuals? So you as an individual, how do we manage and understand the world of tax and assets in the world of, super? It's a very powerful, very simple but powerful structure. And you need to educate yourself more about it, and don't leave it to financial planners who try and bamboozle you with bullshit. And, you ignore it and you spend 30 years not understanding what's going on, folks. All right? Don't do that. Understand what's going on. And companies and trust structures, trading or non-trading, right? If you're a business owner, it's pretty important to understand them pretty significantly, all right? Pretty significantly as we go, all right? As an investor. So what's the game we're playing? What game are we playing, folks? We're playing the game of wealth. What are the rules? Well, the rules are, if you want to become wealthy, you've got to understand how to not pay more tax than you should, not be forced to sell your assets when you shouldn't, and understand who needs to be on your team. All right? That's the stuff. That's the stuff. You guys know the drill. You guys know the drill. There you go. I might leave it there today. Hopefully that makes sense, right? We're paying a lot in tax, and part of becoming wealthy is keeping more than we're giving away right now. That's probably every single person listening. I can tell you, there's probably not a person that I've ever chatted to, and I look at their situation and they're like, and I'm like, yeah, no problem. You're knocking it out of the park. I can tell you, you can do more. Don't rest on your laurels. Ask your team. And if your team haven't got answers, well, if your team doesn't have answers, what do you do? If the people working on your wealth don't know the answer, what do you do? Put it in the chat. What am I doing? Whispering here. This is weird. Right. What do you do? What do you do, folks? Tell me right now. Because if you've got team working on your wealth and they're not bringing you these answers, you need to change your team. You need to get a better team. You need to be putting the heat on them. Get a new team, Brad. Exactly. If they're not willing to at least then go, okay, that's a good question. I'll go and find out for you. Or they don't know. What are you doing? You're taking advice from broke people. Stop doing it. Get these people on the case. Get the right people on the case. Anyway. Yeah. Well, there you go, Jeff. There you go. You're going to get some tax back. It's better than no tax back, Jeff. I can tell you that. 1 is better than none. 2 is better than 1. I don't know. That's probably not a very good saying anyway. But anyway, there you go. Well done, Jeff. Good work. Focus on the good stuff, mate. Don't worry about the other stuff that you can't control. Focus on the stuff you can control as an investor. That's what we got to do. All right, folks. That's it from me today. Done and dusted. Thanks for joining me today for Wealth Coffee Chats. Join me tomorrow. We'll do another one, huh? We'll do the last one for the year tomorrow. Come along. It'll be at 8:10. You guys know the drill. So let's hang out. Tomorrow's Friday. Fabulous. We'll do a little something, and that'll be it for me for the year for Wealth Coffee Chats. We're going to do the best of throughout the holidays as well. So that could be good. Anyway, thanks, folks. Great to see you. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for joining. And yes, you have. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. That's good. Thanks, folks. You're awesome. See you tomorrow. Bye for now. See ya.